beveling. Okay. So explain exactly what you just did after you.
I open up the thing is dried for at least a couple of weeks on a mandrel,
Okay.
so that the tube is rigid.
Okay.
Now then, for the short bevel which I use, I measure off 3/8 of an inch on all the sides of the tube, on all four sides. See, the tube will be rigid because it's dried that way on the mandrel. Then my idea is to make a ramp from the 3/8 mark down to the end of the tube, where the bark begins. That's how far how far down the ramp is going to be. And when I finish it, I'll show you. Now, if you look at that, you'll see it's straight.
I'll hold it right there. Okay, good.
As opposed to this one.
Got it. Yeah, I see it.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Very well done.
And that's why you should have an even gouge. If one side is real thin, it's not as effective, although it'll work.
And that's why you have to make your shaper with a flare at the end, so that when you take the cane off at the end, it's still round.
Yeah. And this is the short.
It's the short bevel.
And for medium bevel, how far would you go?
Oh, I would go 1/2 inch from here. I'd say 1/2 inch, and begin the ramp here and end in the same place. In other words, it'd weaken the bevel and force you to open up the first wire more.
I see.
So different than.
Now, you can see how effective that opening is, especially if I press on it down here, which the third wire is going to do. See?
Yep.
See that?
Yes.
Now, in order to have these two sides come together, right now the sides are sharp from shaping, and they're like this. I want them like this, so I'm going to slightly flatten from just above where the first wire is. Just going to flatten that so there's more of a contact, because I do not wish the reed to slip much, if at all. There we are. Now, I line up the sides, and I take my string and wind it tightly around the bottom, up about 1/2 inch. Tightly. And you can see there's the leverage taking place. And I want to put on.
And this is all dry.
This is dry. And I want to put on the second wire. The second wire, because it's round and will hold the rest of the reed in position for me to put the other two on. That wasn't supposed to happen.
I hate it when that happens.
That's the most fascinating part is how that blade is forced to just want to pop open. Now I understand very clearly what you mean by the leverage or the.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes so much sense. It's so easy. Why didn't I think of it?
I'm surprised, Yoshi. You should have.
This is video.
Maybe you have to wait a few years.
See, it's still open, and I've cinched it at the second wire. But the force of that bevel it will extend through the reed, even though I get the 3 wires on. Part of it. I mean, it won't be as open as before, but it'll be there. Thank you, dear. Now I'll put the bottom down. And by the way, this has to be close to the bottom so that you get the most leverage from the short bevel, you know? Like when a teeter-totter, you sit on the end of it.
Uh-huh. That's why the turbine is smaller than mine.
That's right.
It's much closer.
There's not enough room.
Correct. So it's a matter of structural reason as opposed to aesthetics.
I could still put my straight
Now take a look at it.
Okay. Hold it right there.
Now we're going to put the first wire on. It's easier now to put the first wire on, which is oval, and not as easy to that's all right there. Put on so that the wire itself adheres to the cane. I used to use, and I can use, the two hand vice method at Chrisley, which is really the best way.
That's the one I was telling you, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Thin vise that holds the wire together?
Yeah, I've got those, but I'm too lazy to do it now.
So your blades come exactly together,
Perfectly.
and so that preserves the symmetry.
And without this setup of profiler, shape, or combination, it's impossible.
Right.
Why do it? Because it doesn't.
It won't matter anyway.
Right. Yeah. And only with this setup that were you able to take advantage of the symmetrical design.
Right. I mean, if you slipped
Yeah.
it with its profile, it would
It's
ruin the purpose.
precisely. So what's the measurement there?
The 1 inch between the first two wires here, 1 inch. I have a little shorter shoulder than I would have, but 1 inch. Now the surprise comes.
1 inch where?
From this
Uh-huh.
to the bottom.
Now, do you measure from the top of the wire or from the middle of the wire?
That's just what I was showing you. It's from
Middle of the
The
wire.
middle? Okay.
Now, everybody knows what Teflon tape is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when I planed the flat to give me this joint?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and I know when, that joint doesn't close as well as I would want it. Sometimes, I said. So to ensure a no leaking
Teflon tape
passage.
is used for plumbing, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
On my tape.
That's Teflon tape.
Oh,
Oh,
clever.
that's really clever.
Very clever.
You had to come out here to find it.
I know.
I'm going to be going to McGuckins and getting
See?
some Teflon tape when we get home.
Why you have 10-year supply?
See?
And the thread will stay on without any problem?
Oh, yeah. I have to go in the garage and put the sealer on, but we'll do that. We'll do that after lunch. Oh, here we go.
Do you wax your thread?
No.
No.
That's a thicker
It is.
thread.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not okay. Pretty though.
The thread was given to me. I'll use anything.
Do you have an opinion on
Look at
that,
this.
or it just doesn't
Are you
matter?
That's how I used to wrap my reeds.
Huh?
I've never seen it.
The,
That's
But you
yeah.
fold it
That's
in
how I do. That's how I wrap my reeds. I've shown you.
I loop it around the
Yeah.
third
I
wire.
guess.
I used to do it that way, looping around the third wire.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's just easier and faster, in my opinion.
Good.
That's how Miss Johnson did it. That's how I knew about it.
Where does she learn how to make reeds?
And who did she say?
I wish I knew.
Do you know Norman who that
Betty
Betty
Johnson.
Johnson would have studied reed making?
Yeah.
She does a lot of very similar things to what you do. She makes her reeds very similar to how you make your reeds. I wonder if maybe you took from the same teacher.
No, I don't know with whom I don't know whom she studied with.
Who do you think she would have studied with, as a guess?
I think she studied with.
What?
As a guess, who would you guess she studied with? No idea.
I have no idea.
She might have studied with Weisberg. I
No,
think
she's
that-
old. How old was she when she died?
She was 83 or 84.
83?
She was in her 80s.
Arthur Weisberg? No, she's still.
No, not.
No, I don't think so.
Could she have studied with Patsy Norman, do you think?
Who's? No.
Maybe she was very well natural.
Well,
I think
I
she-
tell you, there are such things I hate to admit, and I've had them, and I've just luxuriated in the way they played and had little to say. But when you have little to say, you shut up.
I can find out pretty easily if she studied with them.
I have to read her obituary and bio.
Yeah.
There you are. Still. You got that?
I certainly did. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me check. I'm going to zoom in at that everything there. Just right here.
Yep.
That's the beauty of it. Because one of the characteristic of this type of bead without this is
It's not reamed yet.
Collapsing.
Right.
You ream it now. You ream it after you glue it and before this is chopped off, because
Right.
reaming it can also cause it to slip.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Now,